Hello, and welcome to the slightly new and improved Luxuries Outdated. Yes, we have titles, as opposed to the little spinny thing I had before. We have music. If you go to a site called www.mattmcfarland.com, some great stuff there. That's actually used, that little sample at the start is from one of his songs called Nintendo Was Cool. Well, we're checking out all the stuff. Nintendo was cool, yeah. Sega was probably slightly cooler, but we're not going to argue that right now. So, on the new format, well, the slightly revised, the tiny bit better, Luxuries Outdated, we're going to have a look at one of my favourites. We're going to have a look at Montezuma's Revenge on the Atari 800. Now, this is a really, really cool platform game from 1983, I think, and hopefully when I don't call this up it shows a different year, but around about 1993, there's a young guy called Robert Yeager, basically knocked out this amazing kind of multi-level, multi-room platformer. Lots of kind of running around, collecting keys, avoiding bad guys. It's brilliant. I mean, it's one of those things that because it was an Atari game, and then to a lesser extent it was on the Commodore 64. It didn't in the likes of the UK, where platformers seem to be all about, dare I say it, the likes of Jet Set Willy and that. It probably didn't get as big of a following. It had a release in the Spectrum, but it was released as Pedro or something like that, and it wasn't as good. But the Atari was just its kind of real, its home court. Like, it really shone on the Atari 8-bits. It actually got a release as well on the Master System a few years later with some nice updated graphics. And in fact, now I think about it, I think there was a Game Boy version as well. And then the whole thing was redone in the late 90s as a 3D platform, as literally a first-person platformer. Which is kind of crazy. You'd jump up and you'd actually see your legs and arms swinging around. If I remember right, you see your legs and arms swinging around. And it's kind of an interesting idea. It didn't work out that well, especially since we were using first-person shooter controls. But yeah, so listen, we're going to fire it up now and have a quick look. Hello, and we've loaded it up now. This is on a live Atari, an Atari 800 XL. Now, I have a copy of this on tape. But for the life of me, I could not find the lead for the tape deck. So what I've done is, the power lead. What I've done is I have a little thing called SIO2PC, which is a little interface card, and it lets me run. It lets me get me use my modern PC to emulate an Atari disk drive. So I emulated on that and loaded it up. So just in case anyone's wondering, which you're probably not. So, this is the title screen, and this chap here is called Panama Joe, which reminds me, in the intro there, I said the Spectrum version was called Pedro. It's not, it's called Panama Joe, after this guy. Pedro was another Spectrum game altogether, so there you go. If you were getting ready to put comments in saying, no, you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to Spectrum games, well, you'd be right, I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to Spectrum games, but, yes, this is the game itself. So anyway, if you hit select, which I'm not going to do now, you can choose between level 2 and 3, but we're going to stick with level 1. This gives you a very brief idea on how to actually play the game. Well, in the sense you can see there's these little conveyor belts. You get these disappearing platforms and ropes. So he shimmies down. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You can get mooned by an 8-bit character. Okay. These skulls down the bottom will kill you. Most things, in fact, will kill you. It's too late, you can't get back to the intro screen. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is get some keys. Even jumping too high will kill you. It's quite a hard little game. It gives you, there's a little secret continue built in. It's an undocumented feature. Now, to go right or left, I'm going to go left. Eventually you have to go right. That little torch scares off the animals and lets you progress through. Now, there's a leap of death here. Okay. Yay. But of course, I could get in there and get loads of keys and a sword, but I have no keys. So, down we go. So yeah, this was originally released on the Atari VCS. A chap called Robert Yeager, who's about 17 actually when he did it, wrote the game. Yeah, so it's a tough little game. It got released on the Commodore 64, which was a fairly similar version. It then got a release on the Atari 2600, which is really surprisingly good. I really wish I could have shown you, but but it's quite a good little version. Oh, I need lots of keys for that. There was a Spectrum port, which was done by someone else completely different. Isn't particularly great, to be honest. And then there was a Master System version released a few years later with much fancier Dan graphics. Now, this is the bit you would have had to cut the sword and not used it already, or else you would die horribly there. Like I said, it's a sneaky little game. There's actually a couple of bits where you pretty much have to sacrifice your one of your lives just to get by, unless there's you're a much better player than me, which is not hard. So, the whole gist of it is you go through this Aztec pyramid. You basically get keys to open doors, just like in Gauntlet. There we go. Now this bit here is. There we go. Now, what way do I go? Oh yeah. Yeah. So get keys to open doors. Swords will kill the next thing you hit. So if I hit the skull here, which I'm going to try and avoid doing, it would have gone past it. Oh, there we go. Swords don't kill snakes. You need little torches for snakes, just like in Indiana Jones, which may have been something of an inspiration for this game. So now you get to see the right hand of the screen. Oh, bugger. No, you don't. It's gonna forgiving in the sense that if you die, it'll take out whatever killed you, and you don't. They're gone then for the rest of the game. So, like I said, strategically you can die the odd time. Yeah. And of course, there's lots of back and forthing on this. But later levels, then you start if you actually ever see the layout, the whole map layout for the game, it's done. Oh, there you go. Died or used up a sword by going extra life. Ah! Yes. So if you ever see a layout for the whole game, it's actually done up like a pyramid. And in between levels, and I'm probably not going to get through the whole level here right now, but if you get to the end of a level, you go through this lovely section where you just constantly get to jump from rope to rope, getting lots of diamonds like these ones here. A little remix of the music there. God, that was sad. Yeah, so you basically get this little treasure pit, and you have to dive through it and collect all the diamonds and what have you. Later levels have dark rooms. Sorry, not to do with photography, but basically where the screen is, everything is blacked out. I have to go back up. And you basically have to, you can find a torch or just guess. And the further you get into the further you get into the game, the more of those dark rooms there are. Until I think by the last level, there is it's just completely dark. Now, the one thing about the game though is that you're really just playing for the glory you get into the last level. I don't think you can actually finish the game, surprisingly enough. There was, I think it's just, it gives you literally a, oh, congratulations kind of thing. Originally there was an end of game baddie, Montezuma, a giant statue that, yeah, there we go. There was a giant statue that, bloody hell. Yeah, this giant statue that would try and stomp you and you have to get by it. And there's actually a pre-release demo knocking about. And you'll see if you ever download, too high. You'll see it if you ever download copies of Montezuma's Revenge. You'll see one called Preliminary Monty, and that is a leaked version which had the end of game guide, but they couldn't fit him into the memory and they couldn't get it working, so he was taken out. But you can't actually kill him, so the game is really unfinishable. I think, like I said, the retail one actually has some sort of splash screen. I've never finished it because it's that hard. You have the likes of this. And of course the torch that could have killed the snake, but it's on the other side. Okay. like I said, this was pretty much the epitome of platform gaming for me back in 1986. And like I said, I've never really gotten the same love that guys have for the likes of oh bugger, the likes of Jet Set Willy, because it's just because this is the first kind of real platformer I played a lot of. This is going to be horrible now. Okay. Oh my god. Alright, this is game over, folks, right? There's no way I'm going to... Where do I go from here? Not there, anyway. So, yeah, it's lots of precision jumping. By the way, like I said, undocumented, but if you hold the fire button down, you actually get an extra go. Oh, hang on. Because this is what you want to see, folks. A grown man jumping from platform to platform and dying and having his little man twitching on the ground. Okay, that sounded weird. Ah, there we go. Okay, listen, folks. I'm going to leave it here before and draw a veil politely over this while I spend the rest of the evening trying to get those jumps right. But listen, Montezuma's Revenge. I'm going to come back to the other versions because they're great. And then Montezuma's Return, which I didn't really talk about much. The later, the modern remake, the 3D version. I need to dig up a nice old PC with a 3D effects card to really do it justice. But yeah, I'm going to have a look at that as well. But listen, like I said, this is one of my favourite Atari games. If you fancy a little platforming action, go for it. Get a copy of it. Think, if you really want to play it above board and you want to do it without any emulation and go onto eBay, if you go and track down a copy of the Montezuma's Returns game on PC, and you'll probably get one off Amazon, it actually comes with an emulated copy of the Atari VCS game that we're playing. Not VCS, the Atari 8-bit game that we're playing now. So if you want to, like I said, do it totally above board, you don't want to get on the buying second-hand route, you could probably still technically pick up a copy of it for the PC off Amazon. It's been 10 years old, but PC games, you'll still probably pick them up. And it's got to emulate it. But there you go, Montezuma's Revenge. That's my pick for today. Enjoy!